Record is computer. Okay, so Nasdaq, I think I don't remember what we said last week, but I think I was expecting a pullback. So I think I said I was expecting a pullback before it goes up. And so I think we've had that pullback. So um, and I think next week maybe I don't know, maybe it might come down slightly if I go to the 4 hours and have a look at the 4 hours. Um, there's no real pink candles here to be exceeded. There's some here, there's some here, there's some there. So it's possible we come back to this line. I'll still keep my pullback line there. It's possible we come here, but I expect continuation. The people who bought this candle, they are not average buyers. They definitely want price to go up. So if I just show you the delta buying on it. Um, let's make this bigger, and then hopefully you can see. So where is the big candle? Right. So you can see that. Look at the volume that came in here: 27K, 50K, 23K, 32K. Those people who bought here, they basically haven't made money, and they are not big, small players buying this. And overall, the delta is positive. So the delta is 25K positive. So I do expect that the price will go higher than this. For those people who, the big players who bought here, I mean, this is also going to be a positive delta, I'm sure. Um, yeah, positive delta. So those people who bought here also came to buy here, and they are like big player, big buying, big money buyers. So
Do you have to pay for that?
yeah, it's volume, part of the volume candles and
Oh, okay. The
footprint.
footprint.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I expect price to go up, but you know, we can come and buy even back and test here. We can come back and test this point, and they'll buy again, 17.2. So I'll leave my line there at this point. That price comes back here,
Look at that
and
boy
then we'll,
Rich sniping.
yeah, they've been sniping. Yeah, they've been buying. They buy here, and now it's left with a big move, right? The big move for them. Basically, they are waiting for the big move to the up. Maybe, I don't know whether that's going to be the full correction, but it seems likely because when I look at the history of the Nasdaq and I look at the corrections, they always come to the 200. And okay, we haven't pierced the 200 like here, but here we didn't really pierce the 200. We came and just touched it, and then we just went off. Here, go all the way back to '08. We went slightly below, but if you look at the structure of it, this place here would have been a level drop. So you can't just drop one level and just expect to go bonkers. So I can understand why we would have come all the way down here to then form, kind of like one, a two, and a three to then go up. So I can understand that because this was not a big drop from here to here. Was about 22%. It's reasonable, but a reasonable drop, 22%. But I think we've probably done more than that. But since 2008, which was the financial crisis, that was the financial crisis, 2008, we haven't really gone below, significantly below the 200. The 200 seems to be the support line for continuation of the move to the upside. So, and I wouldn't expect this huge candle to be exceeded before we go up. At the very least, even if it's going to be exceeded, I'd expect this to go all the way to the top from a double top or something like that, and then come back maybe and exceed it, or a lower high, then come back and exceed it before going up, something like that. So that's what I'm seeing at the moment. This is my brother's target from yesterday. So, and that's where he is expecting it to go next week. So, what say you? Let me stop sharing and you can share your screen Show us what you see.
So to kick it off with the monthly chart,
Hmm.
kind of what we've been kicking it off with every week here. I drew a blue horizontal line. So when
Yeah.
we shrink back into the weekly and the daily, we'll be able to see it a little bit better.
Hmm.
But everything is looking good right now. I mean, we're at what is it, 18,380,
Yeah.
and we have a floor of 16,970. We could just say 17K. So, we're building up a lot of space, which is going to be good. So let's go down here to the weekly, see what's going on. We have an engulfing that's kind of getting doubled back on and getting some of the liquidity in there eaten up. One thing you will see with these weekly big candles or daily big candles is the halfway point,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
50% point.
Yeah.
They like that level. And then something else that you could do is also take a Fibonacci retracement tool to the wick, and that will, you could use Fibonacci's everywhere. That's
Hmm.
why
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
so amazing.
So where did it come to now? Where make it bigger? Let's see what is it a 50%? Did they get to the 50%? Yeah,
Not
50%.
quite. It's at the 38.2 level. That's where it
Okay, 38.
tapped.
38. Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
we are below the lower Bollinger Band, so that's not good. That makes me think that maybe on Monday we could kind of see maybe a 50% Fibonacci touch or a 61.8%
Hmm.
Fibonacci touch because, there's going to be a lot of downward pressure kind of trap dooring this thing down below. Let's see what it
Yeah.
looks like on the daily.
Yeah.
Okay, so by the time Monday rolls around, that lower Bollinger Band should be at the 50% level, and it would be a nice support for price to go and touch before bouncing back up.
Yeah.
Even more bullish volume signatures here.
Where
Completely.
are your pink candles? Why are your pink candles not showing? Go to 12 hours. Sorry. Eight. Do you have 12 hours on your
Mm,
12 hours?
nope, maybe four.
No, it's on 12 hours. It's not on, there are some pink candles on 12 hour.
I'm also on E-mini futures on the CME.
Okay. Okay.
So it's pretty good data. I don't know why the pink isn't showing up. Weird.
It's on 12 hours, no. It's you
Okay.
you get it on 12. Are you on 12 hours?
No, I'm on the
You're on
daily.
daily. Okay. Yeah,
But
I should
yeah,
be on
this looks
12
good under
hours.
the daily. We got two pretty much bullish engulfings. I expect Monday, I expect to come down to either the 50%, 61.8%.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
I
off we go.
think I
Or,
think
or
we
or
do go
even
higher.
the 78%.
Yeah, no
It's
problem with
possible.
that.
Yeah, before
That's
we
where our
go.
blue line is on the monthly. That's this right
Yeah.
here. So
So it's possible, yeah. All the way up to
that
there is possible.
and like you said, I mean, listen, there are moving averages that haven't been broken for a long time, like there's averages from the eight, like, we're in like a, like, I don't know how long, what is it, like a ever since '08, so that's like 12. That's like 17-year long bull run. It's hard for people to understand. And then you could even go further than that and say, even since the consensus or even since the creation of the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, it's been on a bull run. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
correct.
Like these
Yeah.
things never ever go sideways. They will sharply tick down, but I there's always a lot of talk about, oh, what if this time is different? It's like, well, if the American stock market goes belly up, there's going to be a lot bigger things to worry about than, where your money. You're going to be trying to get guns, ammo, and food and water. It's so, trying to, you're going to expect it to bounce off the bottom. That's all we can do and find the bottom. And I think right now the bottom is around that 17,000 level. I really don't think we go below that. and
Right.
unless there's a some type of black swan event
Swan or
like
something,
COVID.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's a nuclear bomb exploding somewhere.
Right.
All right, cool. Uh, okay, so this is the pink candle I was on 12 hours, you see.
Mm.
It's on mine. So they are there. So it kind of lines in with what you got 17, I got 17, 17.7, and yeah, it could come all the way to 17.2, 17.1, like you're saying. Um so that's good. Then let's quickly look at the XPX then. And the XPX is the same chart for me. So, even if I go on the monthly chart, it's still the same. So we're very close to the 200 to the 50, and the 50 on the monthly chart is always been the line, support line, all the way through here. Since '08, '09, it's '08, it's kind of 2010, it's been the support band, and it's been just, you zip below it, you just come back up, rip back up, go slightly, rip back up. This correction, we've kind of touched it, and I guess, we haven't touched it yet, but I think it's close enough for me. If I go here on the weekly chart, it's the same thing. So you've got a very bullish candle here, strong volume. And of course, I expect a pullback. As soon as this thing happens, I expect a pullback off the back of it. So I would say similar story. Um, you know, we maybe come back here to 5152 before we go up is possible, or even down to this level here is also possible, which would be the tops of this point here. So that is also possible. So in between this and this somewhere, I think price will fall into. If I go to 4 hours, 4 hours is looking good. We've just got a big buyer step into the market here. So somebody's absorbing the buys, the sells here. So it's looking good. I mean, if I go to 12 hours, okay, similar story. So you can see we've got pink candles there. So yeah, so I think definitely we would exceed that. And let me bring this to this point here. Somewhere there in between these two spots is where I would expect the price to fall to next week. So let me stop share and then you can share your screen.
So a really similar story here. You're gonna be able to see the similarities between, with this middle band on the monthly.
Yeah,
It's just getting tapped. I think we're seeing a bit more. First of all, I don't think it jumped as high as NASDAQ. I don't think the percentage gain is as good as SP 500 as it was on NASDAQ. And I
yeah,
also
yeah,
think that more fear, even though it shouldn't be like this, but I think the fear happens first in the SP 500 when you talk recession, just because, we're talking about like Target, Starbucks, Walmart, you know, things that kind of get affected, on Americans making, day-to-day decisions. Maybe I'm not going to go get that coffee today. Maybe I don't need that curtain set from Target. You know what I mean? So I
mhm,
think SP 500 kind of gets a little hard when you got like some of these r rumors. I mean, I don't know what it is, if it's fact or rumor at this point about a recession, but um, whereas, tech has the what's the word? The where you can kind of just sit there and make things up and just think about like what it could be. And when you go and buy a GPU from Nvidia, Nvidia is good off of you buying one GPU every like 4 years. They'll be able to keep their doors open off of you buying your GPU or whatever you need every couple years, whereas Starbucks kind of needs you in there every day. So it's like, with the tech stocks, the word is escaping me, but like the hype around the tech stocks kind of keep that alive and keep that going. And with like, with war and things like that, like Raytheon, I don't know if they're in NASDAQ, but there are a lot of wartime stocks that are in Nasdaq. I don't know if Maxar Technologies is in there. There's companies like Raytheon. Um, Whereas S&P 500, I mean, I could be completely wrong about this, but I think a lot of those defense stocks are not in the SP 500. I need to be fact checked on that, but
Sure.
either way.
So what are we saying? It's
Uh,
looking good though on your
yeah,
chart because it looks like it's come back to the top of the, is it 2022 top? It's closed above 2022 top on the
yeah.
monthly. If the monthly closes like this, of course, the month is not closed, but if it does,
I
that's a
mean,
strong support zone.
the SP 500 is going to be fine. It's just a matter of where do you want your money? Where is it going to make the most money? And I think it's still going to be NASDAQ. And then when NASDAQ pops off, Bitcoin pops off. So, it's kind of like this backwards pathway you have to follow of where your money's going to go because in order for the NASDAQ to do good, the S&P 500 has to do good. In order for Bitcoin to do good, the NASDAQ has to do good. In order for altcoins to do good, Bitcoin has to do good. So you're following this path like back and back and back and back. So the S&P 500 does not interest me one bit because it's
Mm-mm.
a slow mover and I just don't care about it. But in order for NASDAQ to move,
It, it
S&P
it
has to move
it needs to
first.
look, yeah, it needs to look good, yeah.
Exactly.
So if you if you scroll that backwards for me for a minute, what's the middle line you've got? What is it? Is it what sort of moving average is it? Is it 20, 21?
It's a volume weighted moving average under a 55.
Okay. All right. It looks quite good in terms of that line being a support line all through the bull run.
Yeah, everyone has their own stuff.
Yeah. It
This
looks really
isn't
good.
even this
Because
goes
it
back
goes
to
all the way back to
98.
2020, sorry, 2012. It's never crossed that line since 2012.
Yeah.
So, which is really pretty impressive. So, it's a very strong support. And if it breaks, then it's not looking good.
Better
So,
data for S&P is this one though. SPY. It's not futures, but it kind of tells a bit of a different story. Let me hide
yeah.
this
I
one
mean,
goes.
this
Oh,
suggests there could be a little bit more downside anyway. It's back to what, four, 445,
yeah.
something like that.
Man,
But
that's funny. I remember 445. I remember 445 well. That was we got over here in 23, over here February of 22.
yeah,
Man, where
it could
where
be.
does the time go, Kenny? Oh, man.
It's good. So yeah, I think it's good. It's good. We will let's go to the next one, which is briefly, I'll just cover briefly the Dixie. So and I'll kind of cover the bonds as well. So government bonds, the price of government bonds is falling. So US uh this is 10-year government bonds, and then you've got, no, sorry, this one. So this is the kind of the government bond prices were falling. So prices were has been falling, but then the rate at which you pay on the 10-year, uh, where is it? No. 10-year was rising. This was rising up. Where's my 10-year? Am I missing something? My 10-year, where's my 10-year? Yes, this is the one. Yeah. So what you pay in terms of interest going up on the 10-year bond, but the actual, price of the government bonds also going up. So they had a double whammy, 30-year going up, 10-year going up. It was really pretty bad and this hardly moves. They don't move this sort of big moves. These are just like crazy on these sort of mm, charts. So, but I think this potentially, I think it could come back down. But I'd expect it to go slightly up first before, even if we're going to collapse, we collapse down. But and if I go to 4 hours, have a quick look at 4 hours, we have kind of closed above the 200. So, it looks like it's going to go up a little bit more first before. And the daily as well is looking good, closed above the 200. So I'd expect a bit more upside before maybe a lower high, something like that, before we start coming unraveling ourselves. Dixie, so the Dixie is so the Dixie, I'd expect the Dixie to come a bit more down, but not by much. Not by much, because um this huge candle is like I think it's sitting on a strong support here and here. Um, so maybe even if we come down, I'd expect us to come just slightly down first. Otherwise, we go up, and I think there's a gap. There's a gap which needs to be closed somewhere. There's a gap here. There's a gap here that needs to be closed, and there's a gap here also that needs to be closed. So I wouldn't be surprised for us to have a bit of a rally from here on the dollar to go and close this gap. But then on the weekly chart, I expect us to drop one more level to the downside. If this doesn't hold, if this level doesn't hold, this is not good. If this level doesn't hold,
Go to the
then
time frame before you. What was it? The daily?
the daily,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a
Or
reversal. This is a reversal candle.
maybe it was a
Most
4 hour where there was a lot of consolidation. Yeah,
here,
look at all that
it's
consolidation.
gonna go up. Yeah, it's gonna go
Yeah.
up. So I expect it to, go up slightly, maybe close the gap here, and then come back down because I don't think we're done with the dollar. I've got this trend line which has to be tested. This trend line here, and there's a pink candle on the weekly chart. I think is it on weekly chart? Yes, there's a pink candle sitting here. This candle here, which has to be exceeded. So um, if you draw a line there and you draw your trend line all the way to the bottom of it from God knows whenever this chart started, here, through there, through there, through there, that becomes like a big support line. So I'd expect this to kind of land somewhere there, 97, as the final drop before we then get an exponential move on the dollar back up. So that's the dollar anyway. And then we go to Bitcoin.
Yes.
So let's go to Bitcoin, our favorite. Ooh,
BTC.
my
BTC.
my alert is beeping. Okay, so if we have a look, for me, Bitcoin,
Oh man,
oh,
something's heating up.
this is something is heating up. Which one
I'm
is
gonna
that?
show you something today too. I'm gonna show you a
I
little
need to
indicator I made a
I
while
need I
ago.
need to shut some of these alerts down. Let me see which one it is, and I can turn it off because it will just be disturbing us. Of fat coin, seriously, fat coin. Let me just get rid of it. Uh, get rid of where are you, fat coin? Stop disturbing me. Okay, delete. Okay, cool.
Something's
Right. Okay,
heating
that's
up.
fine. So, um, Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is looking good for me. And like we discussed last week, it's still the same old story. On a higher time frame, even if we look at it on a monthly chart, it's still very good. I mean, let me hide all these. Wanted to hide it, but I think it's important as well. So I think I drew this line last week. I drew it last week when you were talking. I was like expecting something like that. And I think it's still the same for me. Um, so, if I go to the weekly, I expect this to come back a little bit. Not by much, maybe to about 82,000 or here. So it's going to be two things. It's either going to be here, between this spot and that port, somewhere, price is going to fall. And it could also be here, which is 80K. So it could be that's also another support line here. So it could be there, it could be the top is here as a support zone, or it could be here as the last port of call, 78.4. So these are the kind of zones that I think price will fall back to. And then after that, we will go up. If we compare how these bottoms form, and if we go and pick, say, here, right? Um, I could pick your here and say, give me this candle and give me this candle, right? And I say, move this and put it here. Uh, like, yeah, let's put it here. So there's a lot of similarities here with this pattern. So the only difference here is that this long bit is here. This is come here, and this is gone there. And it's a green, this is a green, this is a green. So we got green here, we got green, we got blue. Okay, actually, it's a very strong candle. So we got these two here, and normally the next one is green. So you're green, 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 3 weeks in a row. So I still think this week we probably close green. If we don't close green, then it means it's going to be like this. It's going to be this red, go up the following week, then come back down again. So those are the scenarios that I'm looking for. This is very similar to how this is playing out pretty much similar to here, to this ground here, because you touch the 50, you bounce away, you come back into the 50, and then you go. You touch the 50, you bounce away, come back to the 50, and you're supposed to be going up. So I expect those sort of movement. I expect this to go up, but also I'm cautious that we could do a slight one, two, or three, whichever. It could be that we do another week where we zip down here, here, there, and then off we go. Or alternatively stays it stays as it is now. We don't actually even sell off, and this candle closes green like this one here, and we go another one up into well above the 21, well above the 21, and break it to about here, which is maybe about 89, 90, 92,000. Then maybe we have a small pullback like we did here, have a small pullback here like we did, and then we have a kind of really exponential move to the upside. So that's what I'm seeing here. Let me stop and then you can share your views on what you're seeing.
So here we are on the monthly. Um, just noticed something that's kind of cool. Take it for
Hmm.
what you will.
Yeah.
Right here we got that boom, boom, boom. You see, it's something I noticed a long time ago, and I'll show you what I did with this thing that I noticed in a little bit because I can only have two indicators on my screen at a time. But anyways, we are above this Bollinger midline, which is a
Mhm.
VWAP on the 55. It looks beautiful. I am losing my bearishness as the day goes by. Um, Lots of bullish signatures here. And there's cup and handle patterns that we've went over before. I think in one of our first meetings. And then there was another measured move, which I forget. But these are both of them. There are these red lines here. They are
Mhm.
still on the table. Um, let's go to the daily. And our Bollinger Bands are getting tight, okay? They're getting tight. Something's going to happen, all right? When when things like this start to it's important that you know every single thing on your chart and know what they're doing. That's why I like to have only a few things on my chart because just a few things, there are thousands of different variables that I have to watch out for. And one of them is the volatility of this Bollinger Band because Bitcoin is going to do different things when uh when when the Bollinger Bands are getting tight. So right here we got we got some tightness from our band. So when we see that, we're going to see a range out. So that's perfect time to range trade. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's giving you the range. I made this fucking Bollinger Band 1.618 for a reason, for things like this.
Mm.
Um, so we're coming down here, same exact thing. We're probably gonna Bitcoin likes to do the same time for everything. It likes to be equal. Don't ask me why, it just does. So if we put in what is it? The 5th of January to the 25th of February. Let's just say a month and a half. If Bitcoin puts in a month and a half up here, the likelihood of us putting in a month and a half here are very high. And that's going to line up with basically the end of May, which is sell in May and go away. So, what'll probably happen is, come up here, come down here, boom, 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 and then we might be back off to the races, especially if the dollar is going to bottom out for a little bit here. So we can use this as the same formula for the dollar. It doesn't matter that the dollar doesn't follow Dixie. It does like or not the dollar doesn't follow Dixie. That the dollar doesn't follow Bitcoin. So you ask yourself, oh, why would we use Bitcoin to track Dixie just like as this here? So we say a month and a half here up until the end of June. We can use that same, you know, line of thinking for Dixie. And why is that? It's not because it's just it is a measurement because Bitcoin is measuring what Dixie is doing, just as Dixie is or as Bitcoin is measuring what Dixie's doing. They're proportional. It doesn't matter. You can use Dixie to study Bitcoin just as you can use Bitcoin to study Dixie. It doesn't really matter whether the chicken follows the egg or the egg follows the chicken. It really makes no difference because it's factual. It doesn't it's both here and there. It doesn't matter who's leading the race. You can sit there and push and pull and try and understand macroeconomics all you want, but the proof is in the chart. You don't really have to. It's measuring it at the same way. So we can
Hmm.
take this to
Hmm.
Dixie and we'll say, okay, so Dixie will have itself a go until the beginning of June, and then
Yeah.
we could just roll with that, just because things are getting tight. And then another way to measure because you could have all of the cool the cool indicators. This is a Bollinger Band length measurer. So I'll put them both on the screen. Um, all right, I'm butchering this, but anyways, when price is expanding, when this green line is going up, the Bollinger Bands are going to get bigger.
Hmm.
And when they're retracting, going less than zero, it's gonna be down here. It's cool. I'll send it to you, and then you could look at the difference between
Okay.
the Bollinger Bands. But yeah, I'd say for Bitcoin, we're probably gonna range
Sideways.
out until May, end
Cool.
of May.
Okay. Which means let's look at then in that case, let's see what is gonna happen with the Bitcoin dominance because that would determine what happens with altcoins, right? So if dominance continues going up, then altcoins aren't going to do anything. So um, we this week we seem to be forming another green. probably close green again, which means more likely uh, we are closing outside the KC channel. So which means probably there's more upside from the looks of it. Um, but yeah, so let me see on the daily, we've had, yeah, we are below zero on the daily, so that's not good on the MACD. Um, but we're forming a divergence on the daily chart. So if by the end of if by the end of today it closes green and this is green and this is green, then we potentially will shoot up and have a move to the upside. I think yeah, 4 hours is giving it away. I think this thing will come back to the upside. It's going to come back up to the upside. It's done this fall from whatever 64 all the way down to 63. So it's time for it to do a move to the upside. So yeah, I think dominance goes up as well. Um, yeah, which is not going to be good for altcoins, really. This is crazy because this is closed outside the Bollinger. So you can expect next month will go slightly higher. So it kind of I think ties in with what you're saying that you're going to go choppy sideways on Bitcoin whilst dominance continues to kind of steady creep, um, maybe do a double top at 64 or even go slightly higher. What do you think?
Think when the summer starts, there's going to be a blow off top on Bitcoin. Ba-boom!
Yeah. The only good news is, I mean, on this volume is declining it's pretty like
I mean,
decline, 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 decline,
if
decline.
Bitcoin is going to go fucking, excuse me, um, if Bitcoin is going to go sideways with a, see here, with a floor of
74K.
80,000, I mean, with a floor of 80,000, I feel like that's bullish for altcoins. I mean, an $80,000 Bitcoin is miles away than where we were a couple years ago. I mean, the only reason, I mean, I think a big problem is Solana. Like I think Bitcoin is less needed in recent years than it was in the past, and now that everything is built on Solana, I think that has maybe taken away a lot of steam. So, it's not, there is no just altcoins anymore. There's almost an altcoin, an altcoin, an altcoin. You know what I mean? Whereas
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
altcoins are S tier, Ethereum, Solana, of whatever you want to say, and then you got your B tier, your C tier, and you could classify them in different in and just by market cap because it's too much now. There's just too much, and I think I still $80,000 Bitcoin is bullish for altcoins. I mean, it's not altcoins. It's a
You look at
very
this.
specific thing that has to happen with everything has to come together, and it's not like a 4 year cycle and all this. It's a very specific storm.
Do you look at the total market capital, total three? I mean, if you look at this, this has done a good move to the upside, and it looks like it's following Bitcoin. It looks very similar if you look at it from the
And it
perspective.
looks like it's coiling. Whenever I see something that looks like that, dude, you know what I think of? I think of a cobra. You ever seen a cobra coiling up to fucking strike?
Yeah,
That's what when I see stuff like this, that's what I think. Like this is not a this is I don't know. But that's just me. It really looks like it's like it's springing up, but could be wrong.
yeah. I mean, it's a good chart. I don't take away from it. It's a bullish chart because I mean, you know, this is one drop, this is two, you done three, and then you've done a final drop to the upside. We got divergence on the weekly chart.
It
I
is
s-
tough to call a bottom when something does look like this, though. I will very rarely call a bottom unless I see PVSRA on a 6 hour, 4 hour daily. That would be the only way I can call a bottom
But here,
on
look at
this
this.
chart.
Look at this on the daily. Look at these PVSRA candles on the daily.
Yeah.
Look at
Hmm.
that. And also look on 12 hours. Is there? Look at
Wow.
that. Look at that.
There it is.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't get any bullish more than that. And me,
Yeah, there it is.
I think the weekly gives it away. This is a beautiful, I mean, this is a beautiful
On the
divergence
MACD.
kind of, on the MACD. MACD is also ticking up. Um,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
the only thing I trust with my life is PVSRA. But that was awesome. What was that on the 12 hour?
on the
That
daily,
total in golf? No, go one more down.
this
Yeah.
one, that's on the day, that's on 12 hours.
Look at that right next to each other. That's what you want to see, that the boom boom. Like the instant. It's a shock, dude. It's like you're getting electrocuted. Look at that.
Mm-mm.
It's
It's
amazing.
straight back into the the KC channel as
Yeah,
well.
it's not coming back down either. When you see something like that, I mean, it's just like sell the house.
Yeah.
Especially when they're big volume candles.
Like this
Bitcoin
one here.
loves to print those. What is this? A total three?
This is the total
So
three. This the
excluding Bitcoin and ETH.
excluding,
Wow.
yeah. So this is just the 100 top coins, altcoins, their market
Uh-oh.
cap,
Alt
top
season?
top 100 market cap.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think old season. I think this thing goes up, and you
Well,
guys squeeze.
you'll know so when I see something like this, that I do like the PVSRA, um, but now that's just the first step. I like the 12 hour. It was great, but now I need confirmation. So basically, your orange line is what I would probably use for confirmation. The
Yeah,
upper Bollinger.
yeah. This one, you
As
need to
soon as
break
we
above.
crack that, it's
Yeah, you need to
over.
break above. You need to break above. But I think we may have already done close to breaking on the 4 hours. We're
Uh,
close. There's a
I only
squeeze.
do daily with the Bollinger on the. I don't know what yours is set up for, but on
Uh,
mine,
yeah.
yours looks a little more sensitive. I don't know if are you using the same settings as
No,
me?
no, this one is the KC
Oh, okay.
channel.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah,
one.
yeah. You're right.
I can put the Bollinger on.
Oh,
Let me
it's all
just
right.
see. It's the same as yours anyway.
I could
The
probably look it
settings.
up
Here you
if you
go.
want.
Bollinger. Where
I
is
could
it?
look up Total 3 real quick.
Where's my Bollinger? Goodness me. Oh, here you go. Okay, so
Mm.
that's the Bollinger Band. We are in the middle. We're just in the
Oh,
middle.
dude, look at that orange line right
We're
there.
just in the middle. And then if you go to the daily, we well inside the Bollinger Band, going towards the middle. I think once we break this 50, once we confirm above this 50, that is green light. If we close above this 50 EMA and the middle Bollinger Band, once we close
Yeah,
above
I
it,
mean, it's your
then
money.
then we're going somewhere. So I think yeah, for me. I think it's looking good. But I wouldn't be surprised if we end up here too. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up, at 588 billion. Um, I won't be surprised by that, which will be like
Yeah,
the
and
bottom of here.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin has a flash of greatness to 90,000 because there there's a bunch of highs at 90,000 that I know market makers want, dude. There's a bunch of stop losses right above. I see
Yeah,
like um yeah, so if you go to like the daily, you could see a bunch of
yeah, over here,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, come
over there,
on.
over
That
there.
I
Yeah,
mean, oh, if I'm so busy, but if I could grab that short, man, oh, dude, that's gonna print. It's gonna print, dude. And you'll
yeah,
be able to ride that for until 79,000. That's 10,000. That's a $10,000 move, dude. And I'd set your alarm on that because as it sits right now, we look bullish and I mean it's just a matter of time before and it's going to be a super fast move too. I mean,
yeah. It'll be
it might
fast.
be all of this might happen within like, we could do 5,000 up to 90,000 in like an hour, maybe even less.
I wanna see what's happening on quickly, briefly, once we got 5 minutes, 10 minutes left. What's happening on the liquidation heat map? To see if we let's move this back to where it's supposed to be.
Do you have an account with these guys?
No, it's free.
Mm.
This one is free. Coin Glass is free. Um, so if you go here, look at that 85K. Look at that big orange 85, 89, 90, 93K. This zone, there's just so much sweetness
Yeah,
sitting
we're
there.
gonna range out in this area. There's just too
Yeah,
much money on the table.
there's just way too much money at the top. This is so huge. That is big. This is big. This is big. And then of course you go your, 80K and 79K. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying 78K and 82K, that zone. So here we take this and that'll be it. But or we go up straight up to 90, 93K, 92K, somewhere like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be unheard of at all.
Yeah. So there's liquidity there. There's enough liquidity to that side. Let's make it bigger so we get a big chunk of it. Yeah, look at that. It's just a big liquidity sitting here. So there's enough liquidity to the bottom and to the top. So the kind of cho sport for choice. But oh, bro, this goes to that 92K is a given.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the size of it.
I mean, the thing about
Look
Bitcoin
at it.
is this is the best time to make money. When you have an I this I'm going to tell you. I've made a decent amount of money trading Bitcoin, and the best I ever do is when I go into a 3 month long period and I'm like, okay, I know the range. I know what they're going to do. It's just like the conversation me and you are having right now. I have
Yeah,
with myself like every 3 months. And so dude, I'm telling you, it's gonna range out until the end of May. It just is what it is. And this is like the most time to make money in Bitcoin. Like I mean, I guess like the bull runs and the short runs are good, but like,
we'll be
when
going
you're
up, down, back, up, down, up, down, up, down,
right.
up, down, up, down, just like that.
And you'll
Goes
and
zip,
the thing
zip,
is,
zip.
so go to like the hourly and then make and so this is going to make the range for you when the PVSRA candles break the red threshold.
You go along.
That
You go
y-
along
yeah,
straight away.
it's and you're gonna notice that it's kind of
Go
gonna
along.
be in the bottom of the well, we're not, I don't know if we necessarily, we still have to go up and grab these shorts. But after that, we're gonna fall into the range. So we're gonna be
Yeah,
up at 92. We're gonna free fall down. So, but that's a key move that you want to grab. You're gonna want to
yeah,
grab a short above 90, and you're gonna want to take that down below 82. And so as we're falling, you're gonna see a PVSRA, a big green candle once we get below like 81, 80, you're going to see them start to flash.
yeah,
And then once we absolve those, then then you know where the bottom's going to be, and then we're probably going to go back up. And then you're after that, you're going to look back up and you're going to see there's red candles, big red candles that have made the range on the way down that we didn't grab yet. And
yeah.
that's going to be
Like
your
these
long
ones.
take profit.
This one's
Yeah.
here. Like this one here.
But
Which is which.
it's gonna be the other way because you're gonna be going down. They're gonna be made on the way down after 92. And then you close your short at 82, go long after you see some green candles, and then when you go back up, you're gonna see all the red candles, and then those are gonna be your take profits.
Yeah,
It's
this one is an example, isn't it? You go to the top of the band, brings you back down to the bottom of it, tries to go to the top, goes to the top. We're still playing out at the tops. Come back to the middle, go to the top of the Bollinger, come back to the middle, go to the top, come back to the lower middle. Now I think we're gonna have to go to the top of it. Top of it. So we've come to the bottom part of it. We need to go to, I mean, we're doing this kind of what do you call it? You call it the kind of zip back. So when you go outside the band, you always do a zip back first before you continue. Similar to here, go outside the band, do a zip back, then go. Go outside here or touch it, or this will be outside because we didn't, okay, this is the KC channel. Come all the way down into it here, zip, go, come back into it, zip, go
I'm
here,
trying to find
zip, and then go. So I
the
think it should
last
be,
range that we were. So if you want to go back to like
but I mean, it's been
uh
ranging since the 13th of April, literally. 13th of April, it's a range, like you've been saying. I think that the last call, the 2 weeks ago, you were saying it. This is just gonna range. This is a range for two
yeah.
weeks, literally. It's we kind of come to the bottom, go to the top, come to the bottom like we're coming now, then we go again. And who knows, we might break it this time, but this is a range, as you're saying. We are
Yeah,
ranging.
you gotta know when the time is up, and then you know when your time is up because of like the past ranges, basically. So like, if you want to take um the
Like here.
21st of November, the
Here was all a
21st of
range
November
to
to the
here.
24th of February was a range,
Even here
and
was
then
a
we
range.
dropped down.
Even here was a range. This was a
Yeah,
range, ranging box. And then you've got even let's see about here. All these correction phases, you go through the kind of ranges. So like here, we were ranging here. Look at this. All that was a range. Go to the top, come to the bottom. Go to the top, come to the bottom. Go to the top, lower high. So we from like July 24 all the way through to here, which was like 27th of September. Basically, it was just a range, sideways, sideways action. Um, so I think you're right. I think you're right. We probably end up having a sideways walk, but it's looking good for some odds to pump, which some have already been pumping anyway. Some are, like I showed you the other one, it's just crazy. So I think that's it. That's a wrap.
here, let me
Um,
share my screen one more time just to show you
okay,
just
let me stop share.
the range that I'm kind of looking at here. You see how it's kind of like a one-to-one as far as dates go.
Yeah,
Think I think that's what we do again.
yeah, yeah. It looks like the same. Yeah, it looks like that. All right, mate. Happy Easter. Um,
Yes, you too.
happy Easter, and we shall catch up.
All right, Kenny, have a good one, man. I'll talk to
Okay.
you.